Richard Gere in the Jackal couldn't quite get to grips with the Northern Irish accent, and in this video we're going to analyse his speech using 4 clips from the movie. If this is your first time here, I'm Alistair, an English teacher and Northern Ireland dialect coach. To know more about English, languages or accents, consider subscribing. Should you be an actor looking to master your Northern Irish accent, then contact me using the details in the description below. Before we dive into Richard Gere's accent, a brief introduction about the movie. The Jackal is a 1997 US political action thriller, also starring Bruce Willis. Richard Gere is a former IRA sniper who the FBI have identified as someone who might be able to help them find a paid assassin, and that character is played by Bruce Willis. Right, let's get straight into it with our first clip.
Whose human life would I be saving?
Listen again to how the final word is pronounced.
Whose human life would I be saving?
This is a distinctive feature of the Northern Irish accent, and in my personal opinion, it's possibly the easiest to get right, and Gere does a pretty good job actually. It's the ing sound in words ending in ing. To make this sound in most English accents, you lift the back of the tongue. Ing. Saving. Ing. However, in Northern Irish English, you lift the front of the tongue. In. Saving. In. Notice how your tongue moves differently. Ing. In. Ing. In. Here's the clip again.
Whose human life would I be saving?
With a Northern Irish accent. Whose life would I be saving? The second clip.
First, I'd have to be convinced Isabella would be kept safe.
Notice how he says this word in a fairly typical British English accent. Safe.
First, I'd have to be convinced Isabella would be kept safe.
He uses the diphthong a, safe, and doesn't quite get this one right in the Northern Irish accent. Safe. Safe versus safe. A diphthong is a combination of 2 vowel sounds in a single movement, so the mouth has to move a. Safe. Now in a Northern Irish accent, this doesn't really happen. We tend to speak far too quickly, so the diphthong is shortened. So instead of saying,
first, I'd have to be convinced Isabella would be kept safe.
Perhaps a more genuine Northern Irish accent would be, first, I'd have to be convinced that Isabella would be kept safe. What do you think of Richard Gere's Northern Irish accent? Comment below. Our third clip.
Not my war. I was never a bomber.
Pay attention to how Gere pronounces the letter R in these 3 words.
Not my war. I was never a bomber.
The Northern Irish accent is described as rhotic, and that means that the letter R is pronounced in all situations. Personally, I think he's overcompensating with his first R in war, because most English accents don't pronounce the R when it appears at the end of words. I think he's overcompensating personally. So instead of saying,
not my war. I was never a bomber.
A more authentic Northern Irish accent would be, it's not my war, I was never a bomber. By the way, this video is part of my Northern Irish accent series. To discover more about the Northern Irish accent, including specific words and phrases, check out the playlist after you've watched this video. Our 4th clip.
Let's tell him to get his affairs in order, because nobody can save him now.
This isn't the finest example of the Northern Irish accent, though we'll just focus on the last word.
Let's tell him to get his affairs in order, because nobody can save him now.
This is probably the most distinct sound in the Northern Irish accent, and yet the one that most natives find the hardest to get right. And Richard Gere is no exception. In a more typical British English accent, this sound is another diphthong. Ow. Now. This time when you make the sound, you should notice the rounded movement in your mouth. Now. Ow. Once more in a Northern Irish accent, this doesn't really happen. We speak far too quickly, so there's no roundness. I. Ow. I. Can you hear the difference? Can you feel the difference in your mouth? Now versus now. So instead of saying,
let's tell him to get his affairs in order, because nobody can save him now.
An authentic Northern Irish accent would be, best tell him to get his affairs in order, because nobody can save him now. As Richard Gere and many others have shown, the Northern Irish accent is certainly one of the trickiest to master, and it takes lots of time and effort. If you're an actor or anyone looking to perfect your Northern Irish accent, then contact me using the details in the description below. Next, to see how Brad Pitt got on with the Northern Irish accent, check out this video.